So the MCU might be leading to a moment with Doctor Strange that is going to be pretty similar to the moment in Avengers Infinity War, where Doctor Strange looks into the future. He sees millions of different outcomes, of which Thanos wins every time but one. Now, Thanos ultimately does win in Infinity War when he snaps, erasing half of the population, but right before Doctor Strange goes to dust, he says that it was the only way to Tony Stark. We could be in for a very similar moment in the Multiverse saga, specifically in Doomsday. And I think these events are going to begin in Doctor Strange 3. And today we have a new report from the Snyder, Jeff Snyder, who says that he has heard Sam Raimi is going to be the director for Doctor Strange 3. He specifically said that right now, Marvel Studios and Sam Raimi are nearing the deal for Sam Raimi to direct the next Doctor Strange film. And let me know right away how you feel about this. We did hear some rumors about this from the insider My Time to Shine Hello earlier this week, who said Sam Raimi, Justin Benson, and Aaron Moorhead were in the mix to direct the next film and The Midnight Suns. And I actually read quite a few comments that said Sam Raimi would be a good choice. And what's interesting is I read a lot of comments that were really positive about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Of course, there were some bad ones, but I think it's widely believed for some reason that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was just a terrible movie, when in fact I think a lot of people actually liked it. But let me know how you felt about it and this decision for Sam Raimi to direct the next film in the comments down below. Now, let me tell you why this is actually a good thing. I'm a big believer in continuity with stories, with directors, with the direction that the MCU is going in general, and I think this sets up Doctor Strange 3 to be the most important movie in the Multiverse saga besides the two Avengers films, because I do believe that it will involve Doom, and I actually think the Scarlet Witch will be mentioned, and I do believe at this point her return is evident. We do have a new report about that, which we'll talk about later on in this video. But Sam Raimi directing Doctor Strange 3, I think, is really good. Plus, he'll probably help write it as well. And remember, for Multiverse of Madness, he came into a really weird situation. Scott Derrickson was the director and writer for Doctor Strange 1. He already wrote Doctor Strange 2. Him and Marvel Studios parted ways. They still had the script. Michael Waldron came in, changed the script. Then Sam Raimi came in, helped with what they had, and pretty much made the best out of a bad situation. So I really believe that him being involved in the beginning of this movie, it'll turn out great. And Doctor Strange 3 is literally going to pick up right where Doctor Strange 2 left off, where Clea came in the post-credit scene and told Doctor Strange, hey, you caused an incursion, you're coming with me, we're gonna fix it. And Doctor Strange just saw a hot girl and was like, yep, totally down, no questions needed, let's go. And to be fair, in the comics, he does end up marrying Clea. Maybe that's what awaits him in the future of the MCU. But this movie comes out before Doomsday, and that is important to note. Based off of everything that we've heard so far, this is the movie that comes out right before Avengers Doomsday, which automatically, if that is true, and that's what a lot of people are saying, that's fantastic news. Because for a while we thought Shang-Chi 2 was going to be the movie that comes out right before, and then Doctor Strange 3 would come out after Doomsday, and that just really complicated things story-wise. Because right now we really do need to see what happens with Doctor Strange and Clea next before Avengers Doomsday. That way he can actually appear in Doomsday. However, I'm not actually sure he'll end up trying to stop Doom, and I think this will lead to that moment that I mentioned in the beginning that will be very close to Avengers Infinity War. Let me explain. One thing that fans have been kind of complaining about since Phase 4 started, and really deep into Phase 4 and Phase 5, is the feeling of a lack of connectivity with the MCU. With people saying, you know, we've really only gotten a few projects that even kind of mention the multiverse and variants, and even then, with some of those projects, they weren't super connected with what we believe the story is going to be for Doomsday and Secret Wars. For example, Spider-Man No Way Home, although you could definitely theorize and connect a lot, you could still argue that it didn't really have anything to do with incursions. It was a Doctor Strange spell gone wrong. Now, obviously, they're going to make it connect, but a lot of projects did not involve the multiverse at all. And we just heard a new recent leak about Captain America Brave New World. We did a full plot leak cover of that yesterday. You can check out that video. But from what we heard, the post-credit scene is supposed to really tie the movie more into the multiverse saga. And according to insider Daniel RPK, they did that very intentionally so it can feel like everything connects more, which is great. And that also means it was a conscious decision by Marvel Studios to do reshoots very recently to make this happen. Well, the same will happen for Doctor Strange 3. And in fact, I think more than any other project so far, with the exception of maybe Loki Season 2, we're really going to feel like the multiverse is being threatened. Based off of what we heard from insider Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus a while ago, this story is going to be like the Time Runs Out story in the comics. That does involve the Black Priest. It also involves the Black Swans and Doctor Doom. And like I said, this movie is going to come out right before Avengers Doomsday, so it does make sense that this movie would explore Doom, or at least what I believe they're going to do, explore a person or something that is behind the incursions that are happening. We know that Clea thinks Doctor Strange caused an incursion, and he did a lot of stuff in Multiverse of Madness, so yeah, he probably did. But I think they're going to figure out that there's somebody else behind a lot of incursions that are happening within the multiverse. Now, originally, of course, that was supposed to be Kang, but now it's going to be Doom. Now, in the comics, the person Rabam Alao and his Black Swans were known to be the persons, or at least thought to be the persons, behind the incursions. A lot of people thought they were the villains and tried to stop them, including Doctor Strange, but then ultimately, Rabam Alao reveals himself to Doctor Strange as Doctor Doom, and he reveals to him his whole plan, which was, I had to destroy Molecule Man and universes in order to save the multiverse. The Beyonders made a Molecule Man in every single universe, and they were bombs, and they were going to destroy every single bomb at the same time to destroy the entire multiverse. So Doctor Doom and his Black Swan set out to kill the Molecule Man so they could try to stop the bombs. However, here's what ends up happening. Doctor Doom reveals his plan to Doctor Strange, and he eventually tells him that, look, we've realized that we're not going to be able to stop them. So what he does instead is he captures a bunch of Molecule Men, puts them in a giant shipping container, and essentially creates a ginormous bomb. And Doctor Strange essentially realizes Doctor Doom is going to attack the Beyonders. However, everything will be destroyed. So he asks Doctor Doom, how are you different than the Beyonders? How is this going to be different? You're going to destroy everything. Then Doctor Doom says, it's different because he's going to save at least one universe. Rather than having everything destroyed, something will survive. And Doom asks Strange, don't you think that's worth it? And Strange agrees. Yes, it is. I think that might be what we're building up to with Doctor Strange 3 and Avengers Doomsday. I think in Doctor Strange 3, there's going to be some mysterious character out there that has been causing incursions. The Black Priests might believe that that is Doctor Strange, but I think they'll go on to encounter him in Doctor Strange 3 and realize that it's not. And that's where Doctor Strange and Clea will go investigate more. I think eventually they will realize that this could be Doctor Doom, or perhaps in Doctor Strange 3, they will simply call him Rabam Alao. But I do believe these events will lead up to Avengers Doomsday, and I think it works out very perfectly. Doctor Strange 3 will show us there's a person out there causing incursions. He's trying to destroy the multiverse, or at least that is the way it will look. Then that will take us into Avengers Doomsday, where Doctor Strange will get with the Avengers and they'll try to fight Doom to stop him. However, by the end of the movie, I think Doctor Strange will have some talks with Doctor Doom, and eventually he will realize that Doctor Doom was trying to actually save the multiverse, and that no matter what they do, the multiverse will be destroyed, and it would be worth it to save at least one universe. And this is where I believe we're going to get our there was no other way moment. This could be that moment. There was no other way to save the multiverse. It was going to be destroyed, so we had to at least save one thing. That way, eventually, we could figure out a way to rebuild the entire multiverse. And of course, we know that Reed Richards is going to be involved. And like I mentioned, the Scarlet Witch should be returning as well. At this point in time, I believe all of the big insiders, Daniel RBK, Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus, My Time to Shine Hello, they've all talked about the Scarlet Witch returning. They've all basically confirmed, yes, something is going on with Marvel Studios right now and a solo Scarlet Witch project. We've also just recently heard yesterday from Daniel RBK that there's going to be a follow-up project, or story at least, to Agatha All Along. This project is in development right now, he states, and it's going to be about finding Tommy Maximoff, aka Speed. I think everybody knows at this point in time that Teen in Agatha All Along is actually Billy Maximoff, the reincarnated son of Wanda. So they'll reveal that in Agatha All Along, and then eventually look for her other son that's been reincarnated. Tommy/Speed. So clearly Marvel Studios does have plans for the Scarlet Witch, especially with Vision coming back in Vision Quest. And I would be shocked if Doctor Strange 3 didn't at least mention Wanda, and I really wouldn't be shocked if they actually revealed that she was alive. I actually think they're going to reveal that she's alive and Agatha all along, and if they do that, it makes it so much easier to bring her back into the equation in the Multiverse saga, but also really talk about her in Doctor Strange 3. Maybe by the end of that film, when they realize what they're up against, Doom, Doctor Strange will realize that he'll actually need the help of Wanda because all of reality that they know in every single universe is at jeopardy, and they'll probably need the most powerful character in the entire universe, maybe the multiverse, the Scarlet Witch. So that's my theory about Doctor Strange 3 and Avengers Doomsday. I think we do get an Infinity War moment with Doctor Strange where he says, this is the only way. Doom has to essentially kill everything to save one thing. But go ahead, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Do you think something like this will happen or not? And if it is or not, let me know how you think it should go down in the comments down below. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you can stay up to date with the MCU. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.